Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Russians blamed the Americans for the destruction of Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines. They said, well, even Putin said CIA did it. But do they have the evidence? Let's allow time to allow us to find out when they allow us. So let's put it this way. The Russians claimed many times, lately at least, that the Americans started, let's say, destabilizing the world militarily by creating conflicts. And they started with Yugoslavia, and then they said they moved into Iraq, then Afghanistan, then Libya, then Syria, and now the Russians, say it's Ukraine's turn. And then is the Middle East now the thing in Israel with Hamas. Then is not only that, what's going on over there per se, which is Israel now in self-defense does a lot of things. And then you have the Houthis in Yemen, or the Yemenis. Then you're going to have the Far East, which is going to be obviously North Koreans and Taiwan. The situation is that the problem, I would say, is that you can't really do everything you want in self-defense. Otherwise, we're going to have problems, right? If everyone feels that I will react however I want in what I perceive as being self-defense, then there will be no more, rule-based world order. So we have here an attack on Iran's two major gas pipelines. And there's a report coming from the New York Times, I guess, and I'm going to read it for you, where they say that it was the Israelis who blew it up. So if this is going to come as a common practice, the Russians can do a lot of damage doing that. Remember, it was another one in the Baltic Sea between, I think it was Poland and Finland, in the Bay of Finland or something like this. It was that area. And they say, well, it was a Chinese vessel dragging its anchor down the like a cock and just dragged on the sand and destroyed that. I don't think so. Nevertheless, they dropped that. Then they said it was the Russians. They couldn't prove, but it's becoming now like a pattern. Let me show you this, and it's dangerous. Sputnik: Israel behind explosions at Iran's two major gas pipelines. Report: Personally, with no evidence, I was 99% certain that it is Israel. I don't have the evidence, but remember, Iran is a different country, like Kamala Harris, I explain now. Iran is a country right here, and Israel a country right here. In between, they don't have a common border, so you have to fly over, I think, Iraq and some other things if you want to take a different route. So nevertheless, I had no doubt that these guys, 99% certain. But this is in another country. It's like you have the Russians just blowing up, I don't know, the American, let's say, strategic oil reserves in Texas. Then we just start them blowing them up and say, you know what, you and your economy. What do you think the Americans will do? That's a war right there. But the Russians will say immediately, no. You can't do that because I acted in self-defense, because you actually fight me in Ukraine, which I fight the Ukrainians because of you, and now, I'm attacked by you in Ukraine, by you guys. I had to go over there and defend myself. That's why I intervened, the special military operation in Ukraine. Now, you see, idiotic as all this is, the fact is these guys attacked another country and destroyed, energy infrastructure to main gas pipelines. Anything will happen? I guarantee you not. Nothing. I guarantee you nothing will happen. Why? Do you think that if, let's say, Romania would have done that to, let's say, Iran, do you think that Romania would not be under sanctions? Probably not. It depends whose job Romania would have done. Americans, no problem. Here it is. Let's move on. Israel is behind explosions at two major natural gas pipelines that occurred in southern Iran on Wednesday night, the New York Times reported. New York Times, right there. Citing two Western officials and a military strategist affiliated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard corpse. So the Western officials and military strategists affiliated with these guys. The strikes on the gas pipeline was rather symbolic and served as a warning to the Iranian authorities about Israel's ability to escalate tensions in the Middle East. One Western official said, well, we can't just do like this, destroy each other's property and say, see, that I can do it. I mean, let's say the Russians do that to the Germans. Hey, see, I can do it. Or to the French or the Greeks, or vice versa. How logical that is. It's not logical. It's just, anyway. The sabotage targeted several points simultaneously, the newspaper reported, noting that it remains unclear whether the pipelines were struck with drones, explosives attached to pipes, or some other means. Iranian authorities also believe, I like when I say believe, I mean, that means no evidence, that Israel is responsible for the attacks due to the complex and scale of the operation, since the pipelines are regularly patrolled by IRGC, making it a difficult task that requires careful planning and assistance from collaborators inside Iran, the military strategist said. Israel also carried out a separate blast at a chemical factory on the outskirts of Tehran on Thursday, Western officials added. What is going on here? Now, other countries see this and ask questions like, why can't they do it? And then immediately they're going to bring you this and that, and say, that was then. What does that have to do 7 years ago with this? And the guys were A, B, C, D. That's it. They're gone. You can't forever and ever use the justification that happened to one of your ancestors in order to commit certain things now. I mean, how logical it is. Let's say I have a problem with the neighbor. I don't have a problem with the neighbor, let's say. And my father had a problem with his father. And they had a fight somewhere. And they killed one another, whatever happened. Now, I'm not going to go over there and, I don't know, take his property or destroy his or break his windows because of what happened there. And say, well, I'm justified because that happened to my father 2 generations ago, or 3 generations, or whatever generations ago, let's say. How logical it is. Don't you think that we're going to have a big problem if each and every individual will start paying back to others based on what happened in the past? I mean, you can say, well, Iran. Don't get me started here on YouTube. You're not going to hear from me again. On Wednesday, media reported that a powerful blast occurred on the main line of the Iranian gas pipeline in the city of Borugen, followed by a fire that could be seen from a distance of 60 kilometers, 37 miles. The attack took place in the southwestern province of Chaharmahal. I'm going to say it. Chaharmahal. And Bakhtiari, and the southern province of Fars. Nevertheless, my friends, it's very, isn't it very strange? It's not very strange at all, how you tell the Russians that they invaded the country and they invaded and bombarded a sovereign independent countries. And in the Middle East, bombardments occur in Syria from outside forces, occur in Lebanon, occur in Iran, occur in Iraq. What's going on? And the Americans are okay when that happened from this side. But hey, the Russians attacked Ukraine. We have to destroy them. It's a plan, my friends. It's planned. They know what they need to do. So that's why when they say, well, the Russians attacked unprovoked. Really? Maybe in self-defense. No? Okay. Sorry. Maybe these guys have a copyright now, stamp on it, or trademark for certain words, which I know they try. So here is, my friends, according to these guys, even if they told me that they did, or who do you think I'm going to say? It was the Russians or something? Why? Because you see the behavior. They destroy, they attack, the airport in Aleppo. They attack in, in Syria, wherever they feel like. In Jordan, the same guys. But other guys, if they would do that, oh no, you can't do that. Why is that? Self-defense. That goes as far as it goes. Thank you very much. And remember, if I hit this, and they can call self-defense, because it's like you have to go to the beginning. Where's the beginning with the self-defense? I mean, you have to go in 1948, I guess, to look at one beginning. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.